What's up, guys? It's Irish here, and it's been a while. It's been quite a while. But yeah, today I want to talk about Two and a Half Men. Yes, yes, yes. Men. The new episode, which aired last night with Ashton Kutcher, and I really want to share my opinion on it, because obviously Two and a Half Men is like one of my favourite shows ever, and it always will be. And I gotta admit, when they first announced that Two and a Half Men was coming back with Ashton Kutcher, I was very skeptical at first. I was like, maybe this won't work. I mean, come on, what is the show without Charlie? I mean, Charlie is the show, basically. I mean, regardless of what people think about Charlie Sheen, he was his character, Charlie Harper, played by him, really was the show. It didn't matter how messed up Charlie Sheen was, as long as he was doing his job as Charlie Harper on Two and a Half Men. That was what was important, because Charlie Harper is what is important. But yeah, obviously Charlie Sheen just couldn't be reasoned with, so he's gone. And so now we have Ashton Kutcher, and as talented as Ashton Kutcher is, I was still very, very skeptical. I was thinking, no, come on, I mean, it doesn't matter how talented Ashton Kutcher is, this is not going to work. And I was eagerly waiting the show. I was like just riled up for it, and it was like 2 minutes before it. I was sitting there with a box of Shreddies, I remember, yeah, just eating out of this cereal box. I know that's weird, but I do that. Surely there's got to be people that do that too. I mean, come on. But I was watching, and it came up perfect, and it's Alan there at the funeral and shit, like I was expecting, perfect, like to kill off Charlie Harper. And it was quite weird to begin with. It was kind of like you couldn't really tell if they were talking about Charlie Harper or Charlie Sheen, because they were kind of saying now that Charlie is dead and all this. Like, it sounded like they were saying Charlie Sheen is dead to Two and a Half Men, he's gone, blah blah blah. But yeah, whatever. And when they first showed Ashton Kutcher, it was so awesome. I gotta be honest, I'm very impressed with how they first showed him. Because usually when they say they're introducing a new character, it's very, like, it's the common, oh, we'll just enter through a doorway, and there we are, yay, perfect. But it wasn't like that at all. It was actually very good the way they introduced him. I mean, Alan was about to, like, spread Charlie's ashes all over the beach, and all of a sudden you get Ashton Kutcher just standing there, soaked, and can I use your phone? All this is that, like, why are you so wet? Oh, I was trying to kill myself because my wife's leaving me. I'm surprised they fit in so many funny bits into this. I mean, obviously, yeah, Two and a Half Men was a comedy show, but judging from how much they had to try and explain in this episode, it was very good the way they managed to fit in a lot of jokes. Especially to involve Ashton Kutcher in a lot of them, because we didn't know Ashton Kutcher, we don't know anything about him, but he was very, very funny in it. I mean, I couldn't stop laughing at him. And something I don't like though is his name. Walden Schmidt is the name of his character. I don't like that name, to be quite honest. I mean, Charlie, Alan and Jake, perfect. Charlie, or fucking Walden, Alan and Jake, that doesn't sound right at all. Sounds quite weird. But yeah, whatever, they did it, and it was a very good episode all round. I mean, obviously they had to explain a lot. I just said, because I mean, it was so weird to be seeing Ashton Kutcher instead of Charlie Harper, and it didn't feel like Two and a Half Men. You know, it felt like I was watching something else entirely. And you know, I'm looking forward to seeing what the future episodes are going to turn into, because I'm very, like, I'm giving them a chance. I'm giving them a chance completely. I was on the side of Ashton Kutcher, because I wanted Two and a Half Men to come back, and I was on the side of Ashton Kutcher. I wasn't one of those people saying, oh, this show will be nothing without Charlie Sheen. I was saying, you know what, yes, Ashton Kutcher coming in, Charlie Sheen, you're out. Come on, yes, let's do this. Good Two and a Half Men. But yeah, in the back of my mind, I was always skeptical, because you know, I mean, at the end of the day, the people did have a point. The cynical people, they do have a point that without the show, like without Charlie, the show is nothing really. And I guess all we can really do is wait for the future episodes, because there's not much we could tell after the first one. It was simply introducing Walden Schmidt to, you know, the fans, and it was just explaining Charlie's death, introducing Walden. That's pretty much it. There was nothing much more behind it. And hopefully the future episodes will be very good. I'm hoping this will work out, because you know, I love 2.5 Men. I really hope that it survives, because you know, without 2.5 Men, I don't know what I'll do all day. Probably just like watch reruns of Family Guy and American Dad all day long. And without 2.5 Men, that'll be a huge gap in my day. But I don't know. And they had the roast of Charlie Sheen last night, on the same night the new 2.5 Men. That is pretty ironic if you ask me. The roast of Charlie Sheen was just amazingly funny. Absolutely crazy funny. Everyone was just laughing their heads off. It was so funny. Funny. Everyone, like, from all the actors, and all the actors were very funny. As if I haven't said funny enough times. But yeah, they're all hilarious, and they're telling great jokes. I'm surprised they didn't go too far, because some did go too far in some ways, but everyone was a good sport about it, especially Charlie Sheen. Like, there was a joke that I was surprised, it was very offensive and all. Like, they said Amy Schmuller came up and said, so I heard Charlie talking about his 2 wives as goddesses and all this, and she said, so I looked up goddesses in the dictionary, and it said 2 dumb bitches that are sick of paying for their own drugs. Like, that's going a little bit too far. These are his girlfriends, I mean, come on. And yeah, that was a bit going a little bit too far. But the roast was awesome. The new 2.5 Men was awesome. I can't wait to see the future episodes. I just cannot wait. Ashton Kutcher is awesome. I love you guys. Peace. Irish out.